Hello. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome, welcome. It's good to be meeting you guys in the daytime. Um that we it's good that we could meet a little earlier. But has that news been passed to everybody? Because I only see like a third of the class.
So it was posted in the group.
Okay. All right. Well, I see more coming in. So yeah, we're going to be kind of trying to fly on one wing for now for 3D modeling. So I'm going to be doing your lecture and practical session. So we're going to try and kind of do it in one um, until the other lecturer comes on board, and then we'll be able to like split it across multiple classes. But my objective is for you guys to keep the same schedule, right? I want to make sure that um, we don't go behind schedule. All right. So, without further ado, is there anybody here that did not go into groups for our last activity last week? Anybody here not in any group? Nope, it doesn't sound that way. Let's see here. Doesn't sound that way because according to what I have here, I can see where all of us has gone into our groups. So I present to you the grand revealing of the topics that we picked. All right. All right, I'm going to pick some at random. Anybody here for, okay, let me do it the other way since there's not a lot of persons here. Brittany, what topic did you pick for your group? You hear Brittany?
Say that again, sir.
What topic did you pick for
It
the
was,
group?
I think it was five.
Oh, you think?
It was five, or my name should be there. I thought you added my name there.
Five. Yep, your name is there.
I
All
couldn't just
right.
add the picture because it was closed.
Oh, right, right, right. I need to open it back. All right, in just a bit. All right. In the meantime, what do you think your topic will be about based on the icon that you got?
Well, balance.
Balance. That's a good one. All right, let's see if you were close. And your topic is a comparison of 3D digital models and physical models in architectural design. All right. Is there anybody else, Cecilia, here? No. Okay. Well, I guess you can tell your group member the good news, right? I mean, technically it's balance. Am I right?
Yes, basically.
Okay. Let's go through this quickly. Horace, are you here?
Yes, sir. But I can hardly see the screen now, sir. It's kind of blurry.
Oh, it's doing that blurry thing. Okay. Let's clear that up. Let's clear that up. Yeah, man. I'm gonna figure out a way around this thing here. But anyway, all right. Supposed to be nice and clear now. All right, but those
Yes, sir.
all right, but those choppy. So okay, I'm gonna make this bigger like that. All right, cool. All right, What topic did you pick?
7.
Topic 7. What do you think your topic is about?
I guess layout, sheeting, drawings, or something.
Okay,
of that sort.
cool. So you do agree that these icons did help to kind of, help you to know at least what your topic will be about, right?
Yes, sir. In a sense.
Okay, cool. Well, okay, Horace, your topic is the differences between presentation drawings, design drawings, and construction drawings, and when to use each. All right, that's a pretty good topic, right?
Yes,
Wouldn't you
sir. It's a
agree?
good topic.
Yeah, good topic, especially for you guys. So we will be looking forward to hearing about these topics. All right, let's go. Is there anybody that wants to go next, or you want me to just like call names randomly? I mean, I'm going to reveal all of them anyway. I
Sir,
see.
what's topic 8?
Topic 8. Oh, well, what do you think it has to do with?
I mean, virtual reality.
I mean, come on, total giveaway, right?
Mhm.
All right, so your topic is the what did your name get here? Right. Virtual reality versus mixed reality versus augmented reality and its application in architecture. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Yes,
Sounds like
yes.
something up your alley.
Sounds interesting, sir.
Okay. Well, you did pick this icon, so I would hope that you would say, "Hold on, that look like a VR goggles. I like that stuff. Let me choose that topic." All right.
Right.
All right, cool. Okay, who is next? Kamal, you want to know your topic? Is there Kamal?
Yes, sir.
All right, what topic did you pick again?
Topic 6.
Not in alphabetical order. This one is an interesting one. What do you think your topic will be about?
Comparison between 2D and 3D.
Okay, come on.
Sure.
Total giveaway. You know what? Next year, I'm going to make these icons more difficult. All right, anyway. All right, discuss the use of 2D drafting versus 3D BIM for construction drawing production. All right?
Sir,
Yeah?
Gina is here as well. She just don't really have her, she don't have her laptop right now, so she can't log in.
Oh, okay, no problem. Well, you can tell her the good news. All right?
She's here in this
Okay.
one.
All right, cool. If persons are not here, I'm not going to reveal the topic. You have to be here. You have to represent in order for you to get to the topic. All right. Maken, I haven't done your group yet, Maken. No.
No, sir.
Okay, your voice sound kind of low. What topic did you choose?
2. Number 2.
Topic 2. Oh, okay, Maken. So I am assuming that you recognize this icon here. What's this icon?
What is this? The sphere.
Yeah. Say again?
Ball. It's a sphere or a ball.
I'm not hearing you. Repeat.
So it's a sphere or a ball.
Oh, it's a
V-Ray.
sphere. Who said V-Ray?
Miss Fisher.
Okay, so all right. So
Rendering
here,
programs.
all right. So Maken, I will give you the opportunity now, since you didn't know what this icon was. Do you want to remain in this topic? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Since you
Yes, sir.
want to remain in this topic. That's a yes. Okay, good. All right. And oh, Tara, I didn't even realize you were in the same topic. What's wrong with me?
That's why I chose it, sir. I knew exactly what it was.
Okay, all right, Tara, that is great. So, your topic is, you guys' topic is advantages and disadvantages of real-time rendering versus offline rendering. Do you guys know what those two things are? Real-time and offline?
Not yet.
All right, not yet. I like that answer. But yes, you are correct. It had to do with rendering. All right, who else do we have here? Miles. Did I do your group already, Miles?
No, sir. It was group 9 or topic.
Group 9. Oh, this one is interesting. What in the world do you think this is? Or it has to do with?
Sir, honestly, it reminded me of like the Triforce image from Zelda. So that's why.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Who else is in your group? Brianna, but is Brianna here? No, she's not here.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Oh yes, you're here. Okay. What do you think that this symbol represents for this topic?
Sir, honestly, I just think it's like, I don't know, like repetition, maybe like similar things. I really don't know. I just chose one.
All right, cool. So this is one of those that, it's not so direct as maybe like a goggles, but if it tickles something inside of you to say, I love this symbol. So I think this is going to be an interesting topic. Okay, you guys' topic is discuss the use of modeling in fractal architecture. You ever heard of fractal architecture?
Never heard of fractal architecture, sir.
No,
but I've
sir.
heard of
No?
fractals.
All right. That is great. So that will be a topic that we'll be looking forward to. And guess what? You can tell me if I had chosen an appropriate icon to represent this. I can bet you will say, oh, now I get why sir chose that icon. All right. But it's really cool, and you're going to discover some surprises in that. Maybe some surprises that you didn't know exist. All right, I think that's pretty much everybody that's in the group. No, wait, Andre White, have I revealed your group?
He's in my group, sir. So group 7.
Which group? Group 7? Oh, right. Yeah, cool. All right, so when these other persons come into class, then I will reveal these topics. All right. Until then, let us talk about how we're going to investigate these things, right? Because don't worry, we're not going to. Well, the objective is not to throw you in the deep end. For example, Brianna said, "Boy, I don't know what is fractal architecture." I think Miles said the same too. But it's not to throw you in the deep end, but also to have a little conversation about it. And then what you guys are going to do is you're going to do just a quick presentation on what these things are, right? Now in terms of what we're going to follow for this presentation, I don't believe I had released the handout yet, so I'm going to unveil that now. If I can locate it. Let me see. Let me locate that handout. Okay, so we are looking for. There we go. We are looking for. That's presentation. Oh, okay. Let me open this first. That. Okay, here is one and 3D model. Class present. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I have located it. All right, cool. Okay. All right. So firstly, just a quick kind of reminder here, right? Remember when we spoke about, let's make this a little bigger. Okay. Right. Remember when we spoke about how the module is going to be laid out? So we talk about the major project, which is 50%. Then the module assessment, this is the class presentation, that's going to be 15%. And then we have the studio-based project, which is really cool because all that is you're going to do something in your design studio, but we're going to mark it in computing, right? So that's the one that's supposed to save you on a lot of work. All right, cool. So and now for the class presentation handout, can we get a drum roll? Or maybe not. No drum roll from anybody? All right. So this is what we're going to do. There we go. We're going to have 10 topics. And each of these topics, well, all the topics are going to be on this handout. But the interesting thing is that your presentation will only account for 10% of your grade, right? So remember, 15% is the total for the presentation. Based on how you did with your presentation, that will account for 10% of your grade. The other 5% of your grade is going to be dependent, is going to test your knowledge on how well you guys were listening in the class in each of your peers' presentation, right? I see some more persons came into class. That's great. For those of you who just came in, just take a look on the class mirror board and you will see that a few of our topics has been revealed. So you can just take a look on it to see what your topic is, right? If your topic is not revealed, I'll reveal it in just a bit, all right? Okay. All right, so 5%, and this is, I want you guys to listen carefully, right? 5% of your presentation grade is going to be based on each of you answering one question from every group presentation. All right, so what do I mean by that? Okay, let's say in 3 weeks' time, it's time for topic 1 to present, right? When topic 1 presents, topic 1 is going to ask 9 questions. You guys can come up with your own questions. I'm going to vet it, but you know, you can come up with your own questions. Everybody from every other group is going to answer one of those 9 questions. In total, there are going to be 10 presentations. So if you answer the question correctly, it counts towards your 5% additional grade. Does everybody understand that explanation?
Yes, sir. But do we choose who we ask the question? Like which group we ask the question?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm just, when you guys submit your presentation, which you're going to have to actually submit a file. It's going to be a PowerPoint file or a PDF, but more likely a PowerPoint. When you submit the PowerPoint file, you're going to submit 10 questions with it, right? So in class, after you present, I'm going to look at the questions you submit and I'm just going to ask, and the groups will answer. But every group is only allowed to answer one time. So I guess the answer to your question is no, you don't really choose. I guess the groups will, I'm not sure if I should have people fighting to answer questions or I should just point and say, group 1, this is your question. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that's the concept of what I'm explaining. I want you guys to understand the concept. The concept is each group will submit 9 questions based on their topic, and a representative from all the other 9 groups will be given a chance to answer one of each. If you get it right, it counts towards your 5%. If you don't get it wrong, well, better luck with when the next group presents. Everybody understands this concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm waiting on somebody to ask me an interesting question, but I'm going to leave that until maybe somebody figures it out and say, hold on, sir, I need to know something here. So I'm going to leave that until the answer. But I just want to make sure that all of you understand how this is going to work, right? So if you do your presentation, you will pass, but if you want a good grade, you need to answer the questions from the other groups. Now, what happens if you're not present for the presentation of your group mates? Well, then you will be putting your 5% at risk. All right? But you don't have to worry about that because I'm sure you were planning to attend your classmates' presentation anyway. Am I right? It wouldn't miss you for the world. Am I right, guys?
Of course,
sir.
Right, sir, you're right.
Of course. I mean, not even design studio assignment could keep you away from watching your classmates' presentation, right?
Sir, I think that's taking it a little too far.
Anyway, what I hope to schedule the presentations around your deadlines. So the concept is pretty much maybe every other week or every 2 weeks, depending. We have class on Mondays, we have class on Thursdays. So no, hold on. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, right? So we might kind of make, well, we're supposed to have it in the lecture sessions actually, but from what happened in the past, sometimes, you know, things happen, design studio happens, and we have to like reconfigure stuff, and it might turn out that everybody needs to come into one of the lecture sessions because that's when we have to keep the presentation. All right. Right, so the idea is that we want to talk about each topic during the lecture times as soon as we get the chance to do that, because as I said, we're kind of flapping on one wing now, but hopefully we'll be flapping on 2, and then we'll have a little time to talk about each of these topics, especially the topics that you may be not so familiar with. All right, some new persons came in the class. Is there anybody that did not see their topic revealed? You can just give me a raised hand in Zoom. Anybody that does not see? Okay, Kings, I see you there. So let's look. What topic did you pick?
Number 4, sir.
Number 4. Aha! So let me ask you, what topic do you think you have based on this icon?
Something to do with 3D printing.
All right. Good work. Good work. Good work. So you are indeed correct. So hopefully you will love this topic a lot. Okay, if I could just get a chance to reveal it. but the computer is not working with me. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right, and your topic is how is rapid prototyping technology used in schools of architecture? All right. So, you know, we are hoping that very soon CSA will have its own prototyping lab where when you guys are building your physical models, you know, we're not just limited to caveman style of X-Acto knives, but we can use up the technology such as 3D printing. So I want your group to look into that and we'll talk about it. So that is
Sorry,
you
sir.
on it snow. Say again?
Sorry, sir. My Zoom froze a while ago, so I missed most of what you said.
Right. I'm saying CSA is even looking to get in their own prototyping lab. So you can kind of use this as a vehicle to, you know, how you envision based on your research, you know, architecture school using a prototyping lab, you know. So you might have different types of 3D printers and, you know. All right, so hopefully that topic is interesting to you. And Tara, I thought I revealed your topic already. Did I not? Oh, you're right, I didn't. Okay, Tara, what do you think your topic has to do with?
Joins, so view.
Say again? Joints?
Somewhere along the line.
Okay. All right. Okay. Who else is in your group? Janelle, is Janelle here? No? No, I don't see Janelle. Okay, cool. All right. So, maybe not, it's not exactly what you guessed. Nevertheless, Tara, at this point, as I give other members, I'll give you the choice. Do you want to remain in this group based on what you think this symbol meant, or you want to proceed, or you want to, you think you might end up wanting a different topic?
If you have what you were saying, you kind of got stuck on.
Okay, all right. Basically, let's reveal your topic, and your topic is what are the types of 3D modeling techniques and their application in architecture. So it's really a 3D model. I mean, you know, right? I don't know if you agree that this hint, this clue was good enough, right? What do you think?
Well, so looking at the question, okay, yeah.
All right. I hope you and Janelle are Janelle is excited for your topic. All right, McLean, do we have just one more topic? No, we have two more. And I'm sure McLean is eager to know what her topic is about. Okay, McLean, what do you think your topic is about?
I think it's what software you could use to draw plans.
Okay.
So it's like on a screen.
Right. I mean, this isn't really this is more of an elevation, but okay, cool. That's close enough. Is your other group member here, Spence? Nope, I don't see it. Oh yeah, Spence, you're here. So what is your guess? What's your guess?
Sir, I don't know. I'm just using the software to design. Based on the picture.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. Well, your topic is if I could just get the button, here it is. Explore 8 types of architectural visualization techniques. Right? For example, photorealistic, hybrid, exploded, X-ray, that kind of stuff. So 8 types of architectural techniques, right? And how they're used in architecture, all right? So architectural visualization techniques, right? So there are many ways to visualize architecture, you know, from things that look photorealistic to the exact opposite of things that are hybrid. It looks more like an art piece, right? You just need to choose any 8. I mean, there's like probably more than 50, but you just need to pick any, all right? And how they're used in architecture. All right, so that leaves one Dege topic. And are any of these group members here? Joel, no, don't see Joel.
Question.
Yeah, question.
One person from each group would get a chance to answer a question from a different group.
Right. So
One of the groups or both persons answer separate questions from different groups.
Oh, hold on, you're chipping out. I think you're asking, it's just a representative from each group.
Okay.
Just a representative. So whoever answers your question that you're given is the one that is risking your 0.5% of your grade. All right?
Yes, sir, thanks.
Okay, cool. McLean, do you have a question, or that hand was from long time? Is that an old hand?
It was from long time.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'll just wait for this group a representative from this group to come in, and then we'll reveal what this group is. But pretty much those are our topics so far, and I'll try to spread out the conversation of each of these topics throughout the semester, right? So you don't want to miss class, because one of the class I might say, hey, today we're going to talk about virtual reality, and we'll have a conversation about it. You know, it can be a good it can be a good help, so that you can kind of have an idea of how do you go about, or what about this topic you talk about, or how it's used, right? So I'm hoping that we all will take part in the discussions as we go along. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the topics until somebody from this topic comes along. Right now, this handout isn't, I believe it's still hidden on the site. So I'm going to, at the end of this class, I will release that so you can actually view the handout for yourself. However, what we have on our plate that we need to start to consume, so to speak, is our major project, right? So let's not forget about the major project. We do have this project to tackle. It is a semester-long project, and it is divided into different chapters. Remember, I introduced this to you last time. So this week is where we start to deal with checkpoint 1, right? And for those of you who are new, just a quick recap. You can go on the website and read the handout in detail. Guys, please read the handout, because I don't want somebody to ask me, you know, sir, what is the size of the building that we must use? And I mean, it's right there on the handout, right? So, we are going to be looking at checkpoint 1 today, right? Where we are going to checkpoint 1 states that we're going to create a site topography plan illustrating clearly contour lines and building footprint on site, and also the location of the water body. So we're going to submit this as a JPEG, right? So what I've done is I'm going to give you some tips on doing this. This is something that we are going to do now. So I don't know if you have pencils, or for those of you who are digital, maybe some active stylus, aka like a tablet pencil. It has to be by hand, but it can be digital by hand. So for those of you who want to sketch on your iPad, use fancy architecture apps, you can use it. For those of you who want to do it on paper, fine, and then you just scan it. All right. But the idea is we are going to quickly do a floor plan. We're just going to sketch it out. We're going to do an elevation. Remember, this is your design, guys, right? Think of this as like what do you call it again? Like almost like a charrette, but we're not investigating multiple designs. You're doing the design for yourself, all right? And the objective that I want you guys to come out of this class with is that by the end of this class, everybody should have had their you know what 20 by 20 single story timber structure building should look like. All right, now the other half of this checkpoint requires you to do something really simple: a 2D floor plan and a 2D section. Now the key word there is two-dimensional, right? So you're not going to draw it in 3D, you're going to draw it in 2D, right? And what is basically going to happen is that you're going to translate your 2D, your hand sketch into a 2D drawing, right? Now, this 2D drawing that you're going to do, we're going to use Revit to do this actually, right? We're going to do this entire project in Revit basically, all right, from start to end, okay? And this gives you an idea of exactly what we're expecting, right? So we're going to do a quick sketch. The size of the site, it doesn't matter. This is completely up to you. This is really just a concept. How steep it is, whether it's a river, whether it's a waterfall. Did I mention one year that a student did a hut on a waterfall? I can't remember. I think it was behind the waterfall. It was kind of crazy, right? But I mean, he did check all the check boxes. He had a water body, had contours, so just like that one I told you about on the moon. Okay, guys, please don't design any huts to go on the moon. I mean, we just need to do something normal, because the objective of this is not about the design. It is about the process of going from a hand sketch to 2D to 3D model, and then we're going to produce different renderings of it. All right, so our objective today, I expect everybody to have the top part of this complete by the end of class, right? And I'm going to give you some tips. So for the most part, maybe for half of the class, we're just going to be chilling and listening to some music, because I mean, I'm not going to like design what I think you should have. So I'm going to give you guys some brain time to kind of come up with stuff. Some of you are probably going to have some questions or something. All right. But essentially, I want you guys to complete this part of it today, and I do complete this part, and then you guys, you can go off on your own to do the 2D drawing part of it. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of what you are going to end up doing, and then I will give you time to do it. All right. All right. hopefully there should be an update that is coming to the website in a bit, because there should be 2 submit buttons. There should be one that is to submit your sketch today, and the other one is to submit your 2D drawings. And I think the deadline on that is, you can check the timeline. I believe it's like, is it like Sunday or Monday? I think you have like less than a week, right? But technically all you're doing is tracing. All right, are you guys following me thus far? Everybody with me? Have I left anybody behind? Guys?
So can I turn PC here and there?
Okay, hold on. Kings?
No, sir, I'm following.
Okay, who was it that had the question? Or were you saying that you're following?
So Tara Thomas is
You chip out again, Tara. What you saying?
So I have
Oh man. Alright, type
the
it in the
screen
chat.
properly because it is unstable.
All right, your internet is unstable. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Well, don't worry. We'll do what we can to make it as sharp as possible for you. All right. Okay. So, my 2 things to do today is to just kind of, I have placed together for you some guidelines that will help you. If you go on the class whiteboard, and right on the left hand side, you will see I've placed some guidelines that you guys can use, and I want to just touch on them very briefly, and then we're going to open up Revit. And well, we're not going to do like a tutorial where you do what I do on screen. I will be just demonstrating to you, I guess, how you would go about doing that, that 2-dimensional drawing. All right. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about terrain, right? And topography. Now, you guys already know, I believe, I am confident that you have spoken about topography in Design Studio, maybe from first year, if not second year. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So all of us should be pretty aware of how contour lines work and how we should do the sketch for our drawing, right? So one of the first things that I'm suggesting you guys do is kind of determine how you want to, what kind of environment you want your building to exist on, right? And you can, I mean, everybody has their own design method. You can kind of say to yourself, you know what, I want to have a river, and then I want to have my building kind of hanging over the river. And okay, let's put that in a different color. Yeah, let's say let's use blue. Right, you want to have your building kind of hanging over your river, and then maybe you want to have contour lines. So maybe your contour lines is like this, and what these contour lines are representing is that, okay, it slopes up, and then maybe you have some other contour lines on the other side that also slope. Maybe this one is much steeper, so that would mean that they are much closer. All right. And if I should draw a profile like this, guys, right? Forgive me, I'm drawing with the mouse, so you have to forgive my horrible sketching. Let's put this down here. All right. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just square it off. That's probably better. So yeah, like that. And let's make this square that, and we're gonna push it to the back there, and we're gonna make this a bit thicker. Let's make it a dash line. Right. So that's my boundary line there, right? So, you know what? I'm not even going to call any name. Can somebody volunteer to just jump on the mirror board and tell me what would a site section of this site look like? All right, I want you to just do it right in this box right here. All right, I've just sketched something out randomly. I didn't even think about it too hard. Right, so I have contour lines. The green is the contour line. The purple burgundy-ish is the river. You know what? I should have totally used blue to represent the river. That would make sense, right, guys? So let's use blue. So that's our river there. I'm going to make this line a bit thicker. And then this here, which I will now make that purple. I make that big. That would represent my building. All right. So who wants to volunteer, or do I have to call name? I hope I don't have to call name. I just want you to just sketch in this box right here.
Sir, again, try, sir.
All right. Oh, I just realized that you're going to have to be sketching with the mouse. Good luck.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not using a mouse.
Oh, good. How you going to do? You going to share your screen or what?
Oh, I have, oh, hold on.
Or are you going to show me what this profile looks like?
Sir, normally there were some controls that I could have right with. I don't see them anymore.
Oh, my bad. Okay, hang on a sec. What are we now? We are computing. We're in what? 3DM. So, right, that's the problem. All right, you should be good to go now.
Oh, okay, yes, they're seeing it.
Right. So let's do it in this box right here. I'll put a little kind of boundary line around it. So, yeah. So you're doing it in this box. Right. So what would the profile? What would the site section? If I took a line right down the center of this site, all right, where you see me drawing that line there now, what would it look like?
Okay, sir. I'm thinking I'm seeing something along the lines. I was seeing something along that line, and then.
Okay, cool.
I guess the river is somewhere here. Just trying to. And the building would be, you know, well, partially hanging over the river, so I guess.
All right, cool.
So I think another part is there, or maybe up further, but this is just the gist of what I'm seeing, really. So maybe something along that line.
All right, good. That's good enough. So everybody else seen this okay on their screens?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So essentially, this is what you guys are doing today. I mean, it's like, we did it in like 5 seconds a while ago. Now, the only difference is that, I hope you're not using a mouse to draw it like me, because that would totally be horrible. And I need you to have some idea of height. So for example, when you give me a sketch like this, you're going to, you can just use your estimation, and you could say, okay, well, I think that something going right. I think that this height here is going to be X. Maybe that will be 12 feet. And I think that this here it can't be more than 20. right? Because that's what we said. Cool. You could also give me the height, maybe from the surface of the water, but this just gives a general idea of the concept, right? So this is what we're going to be thinking of. Now, some of you might want to do things the other way. For example, you might have, okay, let's use a nice thick green. There we go, yeah. You might do something like that. And then maybe your building is maybe sitting on top like this. And then maybe it is surrounded on both sides by water, so then it becomes more of an island, you know, like that. Maybe that is your concept. Well, then you would need to represent this in your contours. And let me throw out another volunteer. Who can volunteer to just give me a quick sketch of what this contour would look like? You can give me that on this side here. Somebody else, preferably.
I can go, sir.
Okay, cool. Let's give me a rough sketch of what this contour line would be like. You're doing it on the mirror board? Or? Okay, cool. I see it. I see it now. Where are you drawing it? Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, Miles, good try. So, in this case, you got it mostly right. The only thing I would change in your sketch of how you represent this would be that you do have, in terms of the circular part, correct, but yes, the center would kind of be like that, and then it would kind of be spiraling out. But one thing that I want you to know, and this is what I want everybody to look out for, in areas that are more steep, you're going to end up with those contour lines being much closer. And then areas that are that are shallow, you're going to end up with the contour lines being closer. So in this case, these contour lines would continue along with the shape of the shape of the lines there. And then on your drawing, what you would do is that you would illustrate. It's going to be hard for me to do it with a mouse here, but you would illustrate where is water and where is land, and you would represent that. Maybe you would kind of, shade that in like that, and shade this in like that, or something like that. But this is essentially what you would give me. Now, you don't have to do, you're not required to give me a site section. What you're required to do is a building section. So a lot of persons, when they're submitting this, they just do everything as a section, but you don't have to draw like the entire property, because what you are telling me with the section is you're giving me an idea of what you plan to happen. If there's anything special happening in terms of inside the building that the elevation wouldn't show. And usually with your section, you would also give me a little bit of the site as well, so that I can have an idea of the slope, or more so you can have an idea of the slope. All right. Now in this sketch, you don't need to be giving me details such as joint and joinery details. No, this is just a concept kind of sketch. I mean, I don't expect you to draw it very rough like this. And I gave you a good example on the handout itself, right? So it's really, you guys are architecture students, third year, so I expect your line work, your hand line work, to be of a certain standard, right? I expect lines to be straight. Walls and a floor plan have thickness, so I don't expect you to just give me a single line floor plan, things like that. Okay, you guys understanding what we're doing so far? You're getting a gist of how to do this submission? All right, good. Now I know some of us are kind of brainstorming, you know, what our building should look like. I want to also just give you some tips. And some tips are, I want you guys to keep it simple. This is not a design competition. This is not design studio. So it's not about how crazy your design is. All right, just keep it real simple. I mean, you can do whatever design you want, right? There are some persons that they love a really interesting roof. So maybe okay, let's get another. Maybe some of us, let's say that we have our slope like that, you know, and maybe we have our 20 by 20. Remember, the footprint is 20 by 20, guys, so don't exceed that. So maybe for some of us, we want to have like this deck going on there, and then the building is actually maybe like here, you know. Some of us like the idea of having it like a mezzanine level, so maybe there's a kind of like that, and then there's this, not mezzanine, but like clerestory. We got some windows so we can have some light and wind coming in. There are some persons that want to explore interesting roofs, so maybe you'd want to have a, you know, maybe a slant roof like that. Others that want to have a kind of a butterfly roof, right? You know, what I want you guys to keep in mind is that whatever you draw here, you will be modeling it, okay? So I don't want you to bite off too much than you can chew. And remember that we're going to be custom modeling it. Some time ago, I saw some persons, you know, do other things a bit risky. Maybe they want to have a curve roof. I'm not really recommending that. I didn't put the limitation on it, but as long as you can handle the advanced modeling that needs to take place, in terms of whatever we design here, we're going to 3D model. So that's all I want you to keep you in mind. However, whatever you design here, we're going to learn how to build. So if you like curves, then take the plunge and know that you're going to get the opportunity to model things that curve. And if that is what you want, then you'll get to do that. But if you don't necessarily want to do that for your design, then don't just pick it because, you know, it's easy to sketch. So we're going to have to build it, okay? All right, so that is just some quick tips that we have there, right? All right, so let's put that here. So we call that tips. All right, now the other half of what we're going to do, I suspect everybody here is familiar with Revit. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so at the end of the day, you're going to use your sketch and you just need to produce 2D drawings with your sketch. All right. So I'm going to go to new and I'm going to go to, well, let's work with, I'm going to work with the architectural template, and I'm going to work with Imperial. All right. You can give me your measurement, your dimensions in any unit. It doesn't matter, by the way. There we go. Now we are going to be using Revit to do the modeling, but when you submit your schematic drawings, right, to which you're going to end up submitting a PDF and your Revit file, that needs to be 2D, right? So what you're going to actually end up doing is that I want you guys to use your model line. Now, this is what I recommend. The sketch that you submit to me, okay, let me finish this sketch here. Let me just, all right, so let's say that, let's kind of finish it up a little bit here. I want to have this roof going out like that. There we go. And let's say, I'm going to say that this is a section here. So I'm going to, this is not exactly the program to sketch with. So don't use Mirrorboard to do your sketches, definitely. There we go. There we go. All right, and maybe I have this railing going in the background like that. You know, maybe it's something like that. And maybe I'll have a door here. So this is a kind of a section drawing. So this is going to be representing my door. And maybe here I have a window that's on the back. And then maybe there is, maybe I have like a nice horizontal window here. I'm looking inside the building now. So I'm having this horizontal window that's showing in the background. That's there, right? So maybe this is my section. Now, what I expect you guys to do, oops. What I expect you guys to do is that the sketch that you submit to me, so in this case, so let's say this is your sketch, right? And of course it should look nothing like this. It should look way better. Oh wait, before I grab it, let me, because one other thing that you guys are going to give me is you guys are going to give me overall dimensions, preferably. So I just need to know major dimensions by hand. There you go. So you would give me something like that, and then maybe you would give the overall width. And in this case, I think I would need to know this as well. Oops. There we go. Right. So you would have an idea of the overall dimensions. And then you would have a section, and you will also have a plan as well. Now, when you save this as a JPEG, like that. And for this purpose, I'm going to save this to the desktop. I'm going to call it section. when I go into Revit to do these schematic two-dimensional drawings, I'm going to use that as a template, right? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, well, it's okay. So for example, I'm going to now go to import, and I'm going to import an image, right? I don't know if you guys would know how to do this. I'm going to import an image. I'm going to import it from the desktop, and the image I'm going to import is going to be that section drawing there. And I'm going to drop it right there. So that's my section drawing. And I'm actually drawing in my plan view here, but that's fine because this is not 3D. This is just a 2D schematic sketch. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that let's say that I know this is going to be 20 feet, right? But because it's a drawing, before we start to create a 3D model, we want to kind of fine-tune our sketch into a more schematic design. I don't know if you recognize how this is kind of mimicking the architectural process. Usually you have schematic design, then you have design drawings before you have construction drawings, right? So it's like you're just refining the design at every stage. So first I have my sketch, and I'm going to just refine my design, not by creating a whole 3D model, but rather I'm just creating a more accurate 2D representation. So then what I would do firstly is to scale this. Now I know that the overall dimension is going to be 20 feet, right? And yes, 20 by 20, right? So first thing I'm doing is going to do scale. Now the tool that I'm going to recommend that you use in Revit is going to be under architecture. It's going to be under architecture, and then you're going to use model line, all right, which is here. Now there are two types of line work in Revit. There is detail line and there is model line. Did you guys know about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so model line shows up in your 3D views, and detail line only shows up in your 2D views. Now remember, we're just going to do a 2D schematic sketch using line work, right? So eventually we're going to be doing 3D modeling. So what we want to do is we want to be able to view the line work in a 3D space. So I want you guys to remember to use the model line when you're doing this and not the detail line. You can convert them eventually, so it's not the end of the world if you draw a detail line. So I'm going to use model line, right? And I'm not really going to sketch here because if you think about it, your sketch might very well not be accurate, right? This is really just proportion. But what I would try and do first is I would draw, so I'm going to draw a line this way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another line this way. Now, when I'm in the model line tool, notice that in Revit, once I've selected the tool, this panel, the modify panel becomes active, right? So right, modify panel here. So when I go over to the modify panel, then I'm given all of these tools here, of which I can use to do my 2D drafting, right? And that's the kind of interesting thing. Most people jump into Revit and they totally forget that Revit can do basic lines. So we're not ready to do 3D yet. All we're doing is basic lines, and all of the lines that we want to draw, we can get from all of these tools here. So right now we're just using the line tool here. And all I'm doing now is, so I'm going to put another line here. I'm going to put another line here. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to kind of scale the drawing. So I'm going to copy this line. And to copy this line, technically this is not a Revit tutorial because you guys you guys would have done Revit in 2D CAD, right? But I want to duplicate this line, and to do that I can go to the modify panel again. Right. I can go to the modify panel again. Come on. Right, I'm in there now. And then I can choose copy. So I'm going to copy this 20 feet. So this is where 20 feet actually is, right? So all I'm going to do now is to just scale my building down to this 20 foot. That's here, right? So let me do that. Let me just reiterate again. So let's use a different color ink. Let's use blue, right? So here is my line, and I've drawn a line here, and what I've did is just copy this 20 feet to here. So now I realize that, okay, my building, which is in the background, which is here, needs to come back to this line here. So hence I would need to scale that, right? So I'm going to select my drawing in the background. Come on. There we go. Right, I'm going to select my drawing. I'm going to go over to the modify tool, and then I'm going to go to the scale tool, which is, oh my goodness, okay, which is here. That's the scale tool. And I'm going to select this point here. I'm going to select the end of my drawing here and then rescale it down to this point here. So now, I don't know if you guys can you guys see this green line that's represent line work here. You're not really seeing this line, but I'm going to see if I can select it a bit better. Can you guys see this green line that I have here?
Yes, sir.
Right. So all I'm really doing is that I'm using this just to create a quick kind of 2D outline of my sketch, which is probably grossly, you know, out of proportion. Well, maybe not grossly, but it's not based on real world dimensions. Now, the thing about this is I'm not trying to do like a full-on 2D drawing. Instead, what I'm trying to do is there we go. I'm gonna move this out of the way now. Oh, and to do that, I'm going to go to my move tool, and my move tool is going to be here. Remember, I'm still under modify, so I have to go to modify, then go to move. And I'm going to just move this out of the way like here. So now what I have is kind of a 2D sketch of that's based on my original sketch here. And now I can start to refine this a little bit better to be more realistic. So first thing I'm going to do is just establish my boundaries. So I'm going to go to architecture. I'm going to go to annotate. That's up here. And then I'm going to go to my my dimension tool. I'm going to use the linear dimension. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just establish that, okay, that's my 20 foot. So I know that I can't go beyond this line. Now, it's very easy now to kind of turn my sketch into something a bit more realistic. Like, for example, you know, what is the height of my railings? And we're going to use some drafting tools to do this. So, for example, I probably want this line to come all the way down. So I'm going to click on the line. Once I click on a line, notice that my modify tab becomes highlighted. And I'm going to be using some of these tools that are located here, right? So I'm going to click on that line and I'm going to choose, extend, and I want to extend it down to here. So I click on where I want to extend it to, then click on the line. And let's go back to my dimension tool. So I'm going to go to annotate and go to dimension here. And let me take this point here. Oh, I want to be using angled. I want to be using that dimension. There we go. So that's 4 feet. So now I can start saying to myself, you know what, maybe this railing is too high. I'm going to make it, so I'm going to click on it. And the great thing about Revit is this dimension here is now linked to this line that's here. So if I want to move this line down like that, once I click on this line, come on. This is only doing this because I'm using the screen annotate tool. It's a little bit finicky. All right, once I click on this, notice that this turns into this little blue icon there. So what that means is that I can now just click into it. Oh, come on. Right, I can just click into it and I can say, okay, let's make that 3.5 feet, 3'6". So you realize what I'm doing now, I'm just trying to refine my drawing and say, okay, this is too long, so this needs to this line here needs to kind of just go like that. So what I want to do is to cut this part of the line off. So to do that, I'm going to just click on this line here. Every time I sketch and I click back on a line, it takes forever. All right, once I click on this line here, notice that the modify tab becomes highlighted again. And over here, this time I'm going to choose trim extend. And I will just choose this to that, and that will trim that up like that. So you realize that your building, your section starts to take a little bit of form, right? And I'm going to do the same thing for my roof. I'm going to say, okay, then I'm going to use my align tool this time. Or I don't even have to use an align tool. I can actually just click on this line here and just click on drag, and it will kind of just give me these little guidelines to snap to these ends here. I know this is my roof here, so maybe what I want to do is to kind of clean this up. So for example, this dimension there and that dimension there, I'm going to start to clean that up now. Now the thing is, I'm only doing this from a side view, so I'm not really concerned with the whole 3D just yet. I just want to get the understanding of my section down first as a 2D schematic drawing, and then I start to worry about 3D for my next step. All right, so I'm going to trim this out, and now we can start using the shortcuts. So TR is to trim, so I'm going to trim that up there. Then what I can probably do now is I can make these 2 dimensions equal. So Let's see if a person is going to be like here, and we're going to insert a person for scale. Let's use that, because I don't know if you realize we have designed the basic sketch first, but what we're doing here is kind of refining that sketch. So we still are kind of designing. So we're going to need some representation of scale to help us. So we're going to go back up the top, and this time we're going to go to insert. Is it insert? And okay. Sometimes when you can't remember where something is in Revit, you just have to kind of look on these headings here. So what I want to do is to insert a 2D figure to represent scale here. So let's go over to architecture, and what I want to do is to insert a component. Here we go. But it's a 2D component, because this symbol here really means 3D. So we don't want to place a 3D component. We actually want to place a 2D component. So, right. So we have to go over to annotate. And here we go with component. Actually, we can still place it. So let me go here and go to component. And when I go to component, what it's going to be placing is a 3D desk. Now, I don't want to place a 3D desk here because I'm not ready to do 3D yet. What I want to place is a 2D representation of a person, right? So I'm going to go to the load family to load the image or the family of a two-dimensional person. Now when I go to load family, Revit should drop you in the default location of your family. In my case, let's see, it has put me in this folder, so I need to go up one level to libraries. There we go. I need to go to English Imperial. Wasn't there? Oh, I was actually there. In my case, I don't think I have the libraries loaded. Yeah, I don't have the libraries loaded. Thought I did. Actually, wait a minute. Revit 2022. Libraries. Yeah. Okay. If you find yourself where you don't have the libraries, where you can get it is if you just go to your browser and literally type Revit type Revit library download. Usually, see it here, it's like the first one to download Revit libraries. It's usually the first one. And there they are right here. So I'll just need to look for 2022. And there are the different locations. The library is based on languages, and US library, that's what I want to get. So I want to choose download. It's 1.2 gigs. In my case, I have already downloaded this library, so I don't need to do that. But you guys, if you find that you don't have the library like me, you need to do that. In my case, I think I do have the libraries already loaded. Revit families, US Imperial, and there we go. So this is what your library folder would look like, right? And the trick with libraries is that sometimes it's a bit hard to know exactly where to go. I mean, I've used this before, so I think I'm going to go to annotations, but here is something that you can do if you don't know where in your libraries folder to find something if you want to place here, right? What I would do is browse to that folder. So I would go to my I would actually browse to that location that I have my libraries to. In my case, I have the libraries downloaded to my drive, and I have it here. Rivet families and US, that's here. And the great thing about this is that you can actually just use Windows search. So I can search for 2D. Let me just search for people. Let's look for 2D. I thought, no, that's. I thought I had one. I thought I had it built in, but it don't. I could swear I had libraries, but no, I don't think I have people for scale, or it's probably called something else. Let me see. Windows will also give you a preview of these libraries as well, right? So you can actually go to the image view and actually get an idea of what these are. All right, in any case, maybe I don't have it here. Yeah, I don't think I have a person in 2D, but that's fine. I will just work without it, because the objective is not to insert a person in 2D. Anyway, I'm simply just trying to sketch out the section view of my building. All right. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to start making my line work a little bit more accurate. So these two sides here. So in my case, what I would do is to just, I'll put a dimension line here, and I would put a dimension line here. And then I would just click on this line here, and I would say, let's make that about 2 feet. And this is already 2 feet. Surprisingly. Let me type it back. Just, oh, that was pretty spot on. Then I can start to think about, okay, so I'm probably going to have my wall actually, let me see. Right, actually I have my wall stud here, so this is probably going to be about 100 millimeter, or if I'm in Imperial, about about 4 inches. Let's work with that. So I'm going to just do a copy, shortcut CO. Copy this here, let's make that 4 inches, like that. And I do the same for here. Oops. Then maybe the base that I have for my floor, that would maybe be pretty thick. So maybe I would make that, copy again. So I'd make that about maybe 10 inches thick. There we go. And to just move my dimension line down a little bit so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Let me get this out of the way here. All right, you guys following? You guys with me?
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool. So maybe for, well, I need to like cut this off here, so I'm going to carry this down. And then I'm going to trim this up and then trim this like that. Oops. Maybe not. I'll use the, or I can just drag it there. Like that. There we go. And I'll do the same for here. I'll just carry this down like that. Now I'm probably going to have a just going to put something to represent my terrain. So I'm going to go back to my model line here, and I'm going to use the terrain. I'm going to use one of these arc tools. I could use the spline tool. Let's try that out. That will give me a nice kind of, there we go. And actually, what is going to be required for this view is going to be your it's going to be, I'm trying to remember if it's the section or it's the elevation. Give me 1 second. Check the handout. Right, so it's going to be your section view. Now the good thing about this is we're going to have to think a little bit about how the section of this building would work. And this is why if you look on the handout, I have placed some references there for you guys that you can use. And we're going to look at this in just a little bit. But a lot of these sketches were taken from the construction illustrated, right? So you should have, this is one book that is on your book list almost for every module, right? So it will help you to kind of figure out, okay, how does the timber construction actually work? Because you will need to know, because you're actually going to model this. All right. All right. So at this point now, then what I will do is I also need to determine the height of this. Now the good thing with Revit is that you have temporary dimensions, so I can click on this line and I can know that, oh, this is 2'10". I'm probably going to make that about 2 feet. Yeah, about that. That's there. And then my roof here, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to make that probably about 10 inches again. And I'm going to close that up. Now the shortcut for model line is ML. Or is it L? I can't remember. If you hover over it, it would tell you it's actually LI. There we go. So LI. There we go. That's that. Now, we don't have to worry about line weights and all of that, because what we're doing here is just kind of sketching this out. So, let me delete these. Our objective, we're not doing a 2D working drawing, but instead we're just kind of refining our sketch a little bit better. And this is important before you actually start to model your building, because this will help you to kind of figure out certain things. For example, like the height. I don't think that we spoke about the height. This obviously can't be 7'5". Needs to be taller. So let's select all of these guys here. Oops. There we go. And I'm going to use the move tool, which shortcut is MV. And I'm going to go up 10 feet. So what I can actually do is click this line and then just change this to 10. There we go. And then I'm going to click this line here and change this to let's make that 3 feet. And what you're going to find, and let's make this 10, is that when you're doing this, you're going to be like making some decisions on the fly that your sketch didn't really give you the opportunity to do. Now remember, all you're required to do is one section, and it has a schematic section, so you don't need to show 2D, you don't need to show bolts and details. You just need to show an indication that you understand, an indication of exactly what your design is doing. All right, next thing, what about the width of the building, right? I think if I take this dimension here, that is 10 feet. Maybe 10 is too small, so I'm going to move this. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm actually going to move it like 15. Oops, that's 15 feet. I meant 5 feet. There we go. Yeah, so maybe that's looking a little a little better. And I also need to now adjust this as well. So I work with the dimensions a lot, so I would do something like this. Oops. I would do something like this, and then I would just click this and say, make this 2 feet. Yeah, this I'll choose unjoin. Because what it has, Rivet is, like, the good thing about Rivet is that if I wanted to adjust this, all of these lines would stay connected, you know, so that's good. So now I realize that my building is really kind of ending up like this. So what you realize is that you are kind of, you know, you're modifying your original sketch, but it's a lot more realistic because now you have these dimensions working from, right? But you're really only concerned about just this section view only. All right, so perhaps what I'll do here, so this top view here, this is going to be a roof member, so I'm probably going to make that about 10 inches. And this is a section, so I'm probably going to have this member. This member is going to come down here, and then I'm going to have another member here. I'm going to copy that. Now, while you're doing this, you're going to, you're going to probably be having to skip back and forth between kind of understanding what these drawings would look like. All right, so for example, this drawing here would more than likely have, I'm going to go back to my architecture line and go back to my box tool here, and I'm going to draw this first, and for our sake, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of draw it randomly. I'm going to put it like that. And then, you know, by the way, I must remind you that Revit, the meaning of Revit means revise it. Revise it. So the idea behind Revit is that you draw it and then you revise it. So I'm going to draw a timber member here. Obviously, this is not the size of it, but I just drew it and then I'm going to revise it. So then this is going to be, I want that to be maybe 2 inches. And then I want to just carry this up like that. So you realize that I've just drawn something and then revised it. And then I'm going to copy I'll copy that there. Now, you know, and then I'm going to just cut this here. So I'm going to use I'm going to select these guys here, and I'm going to use the modify tool, and I'm just going to use the trim extend, and oops. Or I could just turn this that way, like that, undrawing. Now the reason that Rivet is giving you those messages is because it's telling you that, hey, this line is going to disappear, but that's fine. That's fine. And then what I could probably do is just take this guy here, and then I could just mirror. Try out the mirror tool this time, and there we go. So actually in the background, some decisions I haven't made yet, like do I need a member that's going to come across here? But that's kind of okay. I can make that decision a bit later, right? For right now, I just need to have an understanding of how my building is going to work, right? So the next thing that I want to do is I'm probably going to have a doorway that's going to be here. So I'm going to go to my line tool again. And first thing I'm going to do is to draw it, then revise it. So when I draw this line, I see that, okay, it's 6'4", so maybe I make that 7 foot. And that's the height of my doorway there. And then I'm gonna copy this down, maybe about 2 inches. So that will represent the top of my door there. And then I can also go ahead and refine my railing a little bit. I'm not sure what it's going to look like just yet. For now, I will just maybe use a very simple railing. So probably make it about 2 inches thick, like that. And use my line tool and just kind of. Then I'm going to just put a line anywhere using the revise it theory. So I'm going to draw it and then I click and revise it. So I'm going to say, okay, let's make that about maybe 6 inches from the edge. And then I'm going to copy this line and we can make our railings about maybe 2 inches. There we go. All right. Now, going a bit further, I can, and as I said, don't worry about putting bolts and joints and annotations. This is a schematic drawing. Notice on the handout it said schematic. So we don't need to be adding details like working drawings because that is not our objective here. All right. So I need you guys to remember that and not get carried away in trying to produce schematic drawing. Okay, so the last thing to deal with is our post. So let's say that we're going to have like maybe a pretty thick post, maybe a 4x4 post. So I'm going to go back for my line tool here. And this time I'm going to use the box tool. And I'm going to use the same theory again. I'm going to draw the box pretty much like that. Then I'm just going to refine it. So I'm going to say, let's try using our align tool now. And this is our align tool here. That's here. And how the align tool works is that I'm going to just click this edge here and just align that to that edge. Click this edge here and align that to that edge. Of course, I might say, you know what, this is too thin, so I'm going to make it a little thicker. So I'm going to click this and I'm going to copy this. We're going to make this about maybe 10 inches. And if you notice, Revit will snap automatically to different points. If you notice here, snap it to 10. There we go. All right, that's good enough. And let's do the footing. Now for the footing, I'm going to use the same revise it methodology. So I'm going to click the box there, and then I'm just going to draw my footing like that. And then I'm going to adjust it. So I'm going to click this end, and then I'll say, let's make this about 1 foot. And then I'm going to click this end, and let's make that about 1 foot. And this end here, 1 foot 6. I could just leave that as is. Remember, it's a schematic drawing, so I don't need to get caught up in, you know, what is the standard for how good the footing is. But I do need to represent the architecture properly. I mean, obviously, I'm going to need a pretty thick footing here. And it is most likely that for some of us, we might have concrete that's coming out of the earth. So that might represent the concrete. So we're going to trim this down. I trim that down to there. And then I might use the line tool to kind of draw a line there and just say, okay, now we will have a much thinner member coming up. So, okay, let's center everything. So I could select all of this here and say, let's get rid of that. Oops. Select all of that. And use our move tool, and let's see if Rivet will give me, are you going to give me half of this? Not really. Okay, fine, you won't. Right. So what we can do is, I'll just kind of draw a line here to use as a reference line. Oops, keep doing that. Right. And then, there we go. All right, so let's see, how thick are we going to make this? Maybe we're going to make this member like about, we could make it the same thickness as our wall stud here, which is 4 inches. So therefore, we could really just extend this line down. And extend this line down. There we go. All right, and then, you know what? I just realized, guys, that I haven't saved. I'm living very dangerously, so I'm gonna save my work. I'm save it to the desktop as okay, there we go. And what I'll do is put this here because I know that I more than likely will have 2 wood members here, and then I'll have a sole plate here. So also maybe yeah, maybe based on how my foundation will be, I will have 2 members that's going in this direction. So I may end up having, so let me do this again. So Yeah, I'm only going to use the sketching tools for this, so I use the line tool. Right, I'll use this tool. And just draw it again and revise it. So this member here, I'm going to click on it. Will possibly be 2 inches there, and the height of this. Notice how I'm just clicking on the lines and just editing the dimensions. So that's a good rhythm that you can use there. So I might end up having 2 members that's kind of working like the supporting structure. All right. And then basically I would just copy this. Copy that there. Oh, I seem to have left something behind. Or I will just use the trim extend tool. What's a shortcut for that again? It's, oh, there's no shortcut for this. Okay. Right. All right, so this is going to be my doorway. I'm probably going to have a window on this side that's the same height, so I'm going to copy this window marker across here. And then I'm going to copy this probably 2 feet. Actually, 2 feet will take me down to here. Yeah. All right. I might have 2 members that's going to be at the top for my timber construction. So, oops. Hold on. Under there and there. Okay. Oh, and I did say that I would have a window in the background going horizontally across. So let me just draw a line here. So my window will probably be somewhere in this general vicinity. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just make it aligned with the top that I have here. And the top that I have here. All right, and then I'll use my trim extend tool. TR is a shortcut to just trim these up. There we go. And what I could also do is use my offset tool, and I would need to set my offset up here, so I'll make that about maybe 2 inches. I notice that I'm using these standard measurements like 2 inches and 6 inches. We don't need to like overcomplicate this. As I said, we want to keep the construction very simple because our objective is that we're going to model this that we're doing here. Then based on how the roof would be, I would need to have some supporting members. It's going to be here and some here. And yeah. All right. Now, I did not sketch my plan, but your plan would be in the same sketch as well, right? So remember, you're only going to do 2 drawings, right? As schematic drawings. You just need a plan and an elevation. And remember, it has to be 2-dimension, right? So we're not going to be using 3D to do this. So in terms of my plan, I'm going to use my align tool, and I'm going to just align. I'm going to choose this here and align this to that. And I think this is already aligned to that. There we go. And I already know that the width is going to be 20 feet. So I already know that this is what my plan is going to look like. Now, I'm not going to like go through the same process again, but from me doing this process, you should have a general idea of how we would draw the plan for this building. All right, we can see where we have these members are going to be going across, and then it's going to be sitting on top of this member here. And so we can kind of imagine the structure, the framing of our building from what we're doing here. All right, we do have a sole plate that's here because our studs would need to be mounted to our plate. So we need another one that's going to be right here. So we're going to add that in there. So I'm going to add it in there, and then I'm going to just move it up 2 inches. All right. Now, okay, let me move this up a little bit. Because the foundation would be up a bit more like that. There we go. Now guys, you can kind of see how what I had initially is not exactly what I ended up with. But it's very important for us when we're doing 3-dimensional, especially when we're doing 3D modeling, to be able to sketch, to represent our ideas in a very distilled, schematic way. Like, can you imagine if we said to ourselves, you know what, I have a sketch here, I can just, jump into Revit and start modeling from this sketch. I mean, look at the things that we discovered in this sketch. We realized that, oh well, our railing in our sketch, couldn't really be that long. We also discovered that, okay, in our sketch, we had some proportion issues at the top. Maybe we needed to iron that out. And then we have some smaller little issues like, okay, what is the dimension of like these spaces here? You know what I mean? You don't want to be deciding that in a 3D environment when you have to be doing complex things like extrude and subtract. You want to already have thought those through. So this is why the steps that we do sketch out our ideas in a fluid way. Then we just need to pick a particular view and just do a 2D more schematic layout of that sketch, just to confirm certain dimensions, certain heights, and have a more refined version of our sketch. And then it makes the 3D process much better. All right, so any questions? Could you guys follow this quick example that I gave?
Yes, sir. Mostly, sir. But I need to install it before I can.
Right. And I know that a lot of us is going to be saying, sir, send on the recording, right?
But I remember most of it circle.
Right. And I know, I mean, this design that I have here will not be the same designs that you have, right? You're going to come up with other designs, but you need to figure out your design from a section 2D section point of view, right? And I mean, look at this. I mean, this is, if I go to the 3D view here, this is a flat 2D drawing, right? And believe it or not, it only, I mean, you can check the time. It only took us about an hour to flesh out, to convert this sketch into this 2D schematic drawing, right? It's not supposed to take, it's not a process that is supposed to take you a very long time. And you're not going to do the front view, the side view, the left view, the right view. No, you're only going to pick the same section that you sketched out, but you're just going to draw that using line work and refine your measurements a little bit more. You don't want to have a measurement that is like, you know, 157.5 millimeters. No, you want to have like very arranged dimensions. You know, I'm going to make all of my studs be a 50 millimeter by 25 millimeter. Right? I'm going to make all my joist members for my roof, you know, 200 millimeter, 250. You know, this simple sketch helps to define this for all your 3D model, not just for your section view. You know, when I'm ready to model this, I already know that all of my members is going to be this size. You know, I already know what sizes my studs are going to be. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of trying to model from a sketch directly. Yeah, Horace, you have a question?
Sir, just to clarify, what was submitted by the end of the day? Just the sketch, the hand sketch of,
right.
Okay.
Right. All I need from you by the end of this class, and I'm going to enable the buttons now, is let me bring up the handout. I think I closed it. Let's see. There we go. Right. This is the part that I need from you guys now. Right? Which is just your hand sketches. Alright? And then that demonstration that I did a bit earlier, I want you guys to go off on your own and do that. You're going to use Revit, and then you're going to submit the Revit file and and the PDF. Speaking of PDF, I mean, we don't need to put this on a sheet. Like literally, you can have your view like this, and then you can go to File, you can go to Print, and when you go to Print, you can leave it on Current Window. Let me preview that. And the current window is too okay. All right, this is what you can do to print it. If you go down here to your crop view, right, if you go down here to crop view, click it to enable it, and then click this to show the crop view. So notice that this is now yellow, indicating that, you know, crop view is now on. So when I zoom out, if I zoom out here, you will see that I have this view here. So this is just the view that is going to be printed. So all we need to do is, I just need to drag that in some more like this and like that. In this case, I'm going to do them as individual views. So just drag, oops. Let's drag that down. There we go. And now when I go to file and go to print, and when I choose print current window, that's the default. When I preview it, it should show me, yep. And I would just print this to PDF and I would submit. Well, I hope you guys know how to merge a PDF. Do you guys know how to do that? You would end up with maybe 2 pages, or maybe you can fit both on 1 page. Yeah, I would do that. I would just fit both, because it's just 2 drawings that you're required to do. Let me see what this looks like. It should, what you can do is you can go into your page setup and choose portrait. In my case, it would be more portrait, obviously. So when I go to print, I can go to page setup, as I don't see it out here. Nope, I would have to go into page setup. Yep. And I would choose portrait. And now when I preview, there we go. Don't worry about the scale. This is just a schematic drawing, right? You don't need to print it to a particular scale. I just need it as a PDF, just like this. Or rather, you just need it as a PDF like this. All right. You can give me basic dimensions, but you don't need to go in and annotate like you're doing a, working drawings. You're doing a 2D schematic drawing. So by the very nature of it being schematic, it means that it's not going to be fully detailed. But you're going to use this opportunity to iron out like the things that we did, like to determine, what's the height of this and what's the size of the members. This is going to force you to have to think about those things. But you only need to think about it for this view. Right? You don't need to think about, what's my front view going to look like and the side view. We're going to kind of develop that as we create the 3D. All right. Besides, you have a sketch to guide you. you would have done the sketch before. All right. Now the good thing about this is that all of us will have different plans, so all of our drawings are going to end up looking unique. So that is pretty much us for this class, right? Oh, let me check the button. Let me update the button for the submission real quick. While I do this, are there any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fire away. Is that a yes or a no?
Sorry.
Sir, check the chat.
Hand in the work. I'm seeing
Oh,
there's
okay. Let's see here. Yes, don't worry about the form. I'm updating the form now, because that form, every year we update them. So the link that is actually linking you to a older form. So I'm updating it now.
Sir, there's another question in the chat.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Coming right to you. Almost there. I'm just testing these forms, making sure that they work. Okay, right. Can the schematic be joined with another drawing program? That's a good question. What program you thinking of? Like CAD?
CAD, yes, sir. CAD can I use.
True. And guess what? If you want to use CAD to do it, you can. I'm not going to hold you back there. You can use CAD. But I mean, you're going to have to do the whole import scale and all of that because we're going to be modeling using Revit. So originally it was CAD, but I was, a lot of times we want to do drafting and we tend to run to CAD to do it, which we can. But you find that the industry is doing drawing productions in Revit, but yet we're going to run back to CAD to do a 2D drawing, but we can do that 2D drawing same place in Revit. So what I would say is, if you want to use CAD, you can. But I would say, I think you have a little bit easier life with Revit because you're going to be modeling in Revit anyway. So all that line work will be in Revit, and you can just take it and turn it sideways and do whatever. So whichever one you choose, that's fine. So where it asks for RVT, you would just put your CAD there. As a matter of fact, I guess maybe what I'll do is just say both. Well, the exercise is really it's really a Revit exercise, but you can do it in CAD. I will give you that option. All right.
So where's the exercise? I mean, like the handles.
Right. I'm gonna show you that in just a bit.
No, you said we should draw the sketch on the computer, right?
Repeat?
I was asking if you said we should draw the sketch on the computer or do it by hand and take a picture.
It has to be by hand, but it can be by hand on the computer, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Right. All right, I'm gonna refresh the website now just a couple seconds, and then you should be able to see it on your end. All right. All right. So let me test it out now. So if you guys head over to the website, oh, I also need to free up there was one topic that was not unveiled, guys. Who is here from topic 3? Who is here from topic 3? Nobody? Theodore.
That's the group with Theodore. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Okay, based on this symbol, what do you think your topic will be about?
Geometry and balance.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Not exactly, but kinda. Okay. And your topic is the advantage, you're comparing, apples to oranges. Advantages and disadvantages of, wait a minute. No, wait, we got a clash here. Didn't that topic go out already? Yes. Right, this is not your topic.
Come on, sir, we can't share.
No, that is not your topic. Your topic is... Lord. Let me go for the handout. I have to go for the handout to go for it. Oh no. So... All right. Yeah, this is your topic. Maybe I should have used a different icon, but a comparative analysis between SketchUp, 3D Max, and Blender. Right? You know what? I couldn't find an icon that had 3 hands comparing 3 things, so it was, you're comparing 3 things, so yeah. But do you understand what that topic is saying? A comparative analysis. SketchUp, 3D Max, and Blender.
Okay, yes, sir, I understand.
All right, good. All right, so everybody now has their topics. Everybody has their groups. If there's anybody who is not in a group, you need to tell me from now. All right. In all fairness, everybody who did select a group didn't have the benefit of knowing what the topic was. So therefore, if you are not in a group, you can tell your classmates if they're not in a group and they need to go in a group, they are going to have to roll the dice and they will get a random topic. All right? Meaning one of these topics. That is only fair, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good to go. Good to go. All right. All right. All right. All right, so what you guys can do now is you guys can refresh the class. Let's see. Yeah, you can refresh the class website. All right. So if you go now to the class, or if you were on it before, you need to hit refresh. Quick. Head over to student. Then when you head to student, head to computing. You guys know the process. When you go to computing, you go to Intro to 3D Modeling. The password is 3DM 2023. And then you scroll down and you will see that the presentation assignment is now there. This is the class presentation. These are your topics. And here is where you go to submit those presentations. We'll talk about the due date for them, but they're going to be due throughout the semester. And then this is your coursework project. So this is your major project. And here we go. So we have submit design sketch. So you guys are going to submit this by the end of class. And then you have until next week. Let's check the due date for that. So if you look at the top, we can see that checkpoint 1's due date is the 11th of September. All right. All right. So to help you guys out, as you can see, when you look on the mirror board, you can see that I've placed some reference material, which will be very helpful in you kind of determining what your joints will look like, you know, what it should look like when you model it. Just an idea of the different types of timber connections and construction, because your building has to be timber. Your foundation can be a mixture of concrete and timber, so don't worry about that. But the rest of it must be timber. You also have an idea of what a timber wall framing looks like. How do you represent windows and door in the wall framing? And an idea of how a roof framing looks like, you know, and how you would represent it. So I'm hoping that this will help you guys out in terms of doing this. Now our next class, let's look back at our timeline. We want to stick to our timeline as much as possible. So for our next class, which is what now? This is the 12th. So we're going to be working on the terrain, on the 3D terrain. All right. And we're going to be doing that using Revit as well. Usually, if we have extra time, there is another tutorial that we can do on for those of you who want to build your terrain in 3D Max, where you have more sculpting capabilities. Revit is a little bit stiff and precise. So that's what we're going to be working on. And then you guys will hand in your terrain by the 25th of September. Wow, that's so long. Maybe that should be sooner, right? Don't you think so? Oh, I know why. Because you're also going to be working on the foundation of your model, right? The checkpoint 2 is foundation and terrain. All right. So, and we might do the same thing again, where one of them we do in class and the other one you do outside of class. So we'll see how that goes. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right. Okay, guys. So this is where I leave you. As usual, we start in the daylight and we end in the night. So there's night behind me now. So, are there any more questions, or is everyone clear on everything that we need to do? No questions? Okay. All right. We seem to be all busy working on our designs. Well, I will see you guys on. Well, I don't think it's going to be Monday, depending on if your lecturer comes on board. But if not, I will send out a message. Just look on the class website where you click on to go into the class. Whatever the latest update is, I will post it there.
Sir,
Okay, guys. Yeah.
Will the recording be posted on the website?
Yes, the website, the web recording will be posted in the same place. So I would give it takes a couple of hours to encode and upload. So by tomorrow you should see it, if not by later tonight. All right.
All right, sir. Thanks.
All right. Okay, guys. Take care. Yeah.
An asterisk by the schematic drawings if we have to submit the sketches. So
if you had to submit the
I won't be
sketches,
able to like submit it separate from the.
no, refresh. The form has been updated. All right, so you need to not refresh the form. You need to like go back to the handout, because the handout now have 2 separate buttons. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. No problem. The handout now looks like this, so you should see a button
So,
for
sir,
sub.
it's just the schematics due this tonight, like these hand joins.
Right, you need to hand in the schematic. The sketch we should do now, because that's basically what we're doing in class, right? Think of it as classwork, a part of class participation, right? And then the schematic view, you go ahead and you do that on your own time. All right, but the due date for that, it's on your timeline. Remember, all due dates are at the top of the website, guys. So check it. If you don't remember, it's not on the handout, it's on the top of the website. All right, so I guess this is me. I see you guys next week.
Before I leave.
Oh, okay. More questions.
No, so it's just that the same move for this
Oh, okay, no. Close everything.
area with asterisk.
Right. So meaning what? You are on the form now that shows the 2 of them, and when you click it,
Yes, sir.
so when you click the first one, it should say upload hand drawing sketch. And then when you click the second one, it should say submit checkpoint 1 schematic and checkpoint 1 PDF.
Yes, sir. It's fixed.
Oh, okay, right. So you just have to like start again. Let's go back to the website and click on the form and.
Thanks. I
All
got
right.
you.
All right, cool, good. All right, let me check now before I say goodbye again. Any more questions? No. Alrighty. See you guys next week.